There.
Everybody, welcome to to Captain Hook podcast, season 7, episode 7, in which we will be discussing episode 6, Wake Up Call. In this episode, another one of our original cast gets a wake up call, and her personal curse is broken. That being Regina. So now Regina is back with us. And we also find out quite a bit more information about Drusilla's backstory and her motivations. And we also find out who cast the curse. But before I get into that, I didn't tell you guys this because I wanted your reactions to this to be genuine. I know a couple weeks ago in one of our earlier podcasts, we discussed some of the bitterness that's been going on in the fandom. And I had already said that I did not want to bring it into the podcast. And I was going to try my best just to ignore it, which I've been doing, no matter what other people post. But I also said, someone tries to drag me into this podcast or calls the podcast out. Well, I'm sorry. We already told you guys that if you want to play nasty, we can be bitches right back.
Yeah.
What bastards?
I got
I can be a bigger bitch.
I got an anon in my inbox, and I'm pretty sure I know who this person is because it sounds a lot like the same one that blew up my inbox before and was been blowing up other people's boxes. I mean, I can't name names because I mean it's an anonymous, but I'm pretty certain that I know who this person is, and I'm going to read it because if you want to call us out, guess what? I'm going to call you out.
Ooh.
Oh, dear.
And a lot of people listen to this podcast, so here we go. The message is as follows. Kay, you do know this season is such a huge flop, right? I mean, nobody gives a crap to discuss once flopped season 7, almost universally paneled and lost over 1.2 million viewers in 5 episodes. Absolutely embarrassing. Also, why are you bothering with a podcast where you only get like 50 views total? What's the point? There was no point. Your CS podcast was successful because people love CS. Nobody gives a fuck about fake Hook, so why waste your energy? All right.
It's fucked up. Seriously.
This is the last time I'm going to say it. And I'm sure that you guys, including Pip, who is not here, will agree. This podcast is not here to play referee about whether or not people should be watching season 7 or about who posts what gift sets or fan fictions or pictures or what the hell ever. Whoever wants to post whatever they want on their own personal blog, that is their right. If you don't like it because you're bitter about season 7 and the fact that Emma's not there or our version of Hook isn't there, I'm sorry. I cannot fix that for you. I cannot call Jennifer Morrison and beg her to come back on the fucking show. I can't ask Eddie to ditch this new Hook storyline and bring old Hook back. There is nothing that I physically as a podcast can do to help you. All I can tell you is turn the channel or turn the TV off. I am done playing with this shit. Referee, I'm not having any of my podcasters play referee, and I'm not here to be insulted every time I do a podcast. That is not what this is for, period. And if you guys have anything else that you want to say, go ahead.
Well, look, I just think that I agree with Lisa. This is not a podcast where we're gonna play referee or backup, good cop, whatever. Because if you don't like what the storylines that are in this new season, because I like it, and even Ro or Lisa like it. I mean, Ro and Lisa like it. But if you don't like it, then turn the fucking channel and go watch The Gifted or the other new shows in Netflix or in ABC or in whatever channel there is, and just do not bring your hate to us. We're doing this podcast because we love this show. We love Hook. We love all the characters, including the ones who are not in this season, alas. But we are not the ones at fault. We cannot go to Jennifer Morrison's house and beg her or even force her with a gunpoint to just to be back in this in Once Upon a Time. No, it's her decision alone, and we cannot even force or threat or be an asshole or assholes to Adam and Eddie to fix this. Cause it or even ditch Witch Hook's storyline because you don't fucking like it. If you don't fucking like it, that's your choice. Everybody has a choice to watch the show and to still be interested and funded on the show. So if you wanna be put all your hate and all your mature fucking bullshit, then then this is not the place. And just change, click, go by, because I'm not gonna stand this bullshit. Okay, this I'm nobody messes with this fandom and with the people in this fandom, and nobody is gonna be pulling me in this bullshit because I am not here for this. Boom.
Ro, do you have anything to say?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I've already stated how I feel about this season. I don't love it and I don't hate it. It's just there. And as long as the show is there, I'm going to watch. And, it's really not up to us to decide how who should be watching or who shouldn't be. I mean, it's freedom of choice. So if anyone has a problem with that, I'm sorry, but we're going to do what we want. You go your way, and we'll go ours. Live and let live.
Exactly.
Mhm. I don't stand bullshit, and I don't stand immaturity, and I don't stand. I don't stand immaturity and nastiness and being dickheads and bullying and cyberbullying us will not make us change our mind to not watch because we are gonna watch and we are because we want to and we are gonna do this podcast because we love this character and our ship. So
Bottom line,
fuck
bottom
off.
line, we have the right to make this podcast and to express our opinions as we choose because this is our blog, this is our forum. Just
Yeah.
as much as you have the right not to listen to it if you don't want to or to ignore it. What I don't get is if you don't like the season to say about it, why are you like listening to the podcast or even on our blog or whatever? Because the only way you would know that we were still doing podcasts is if you were on our blog, if you're
Mhm.
looking at our posts and stuff. Why do you care? I feel like I'm talking to a Swan Queener who's bitching up a storm about Captain Swan. Look, it's over. It's done. You don't like it? I'm sorry. We are sorry. But that's not going to change. She's not just suddenly going to pop back on the show because you hate it so much. The show isn't suddenly going to disappear just because the ratings aren't perfect.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes change is change and you just have to deal. I mean, I don't know what else to say, and I'm tired of wasting breath on this whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, since nobody seems to want to give me questions, I'm gonna have to. I feel like I'm gonna have to make out questions of my own here. All
Mhm.
right. So starting from the beginning, what do you guys think about the fact this new surprise that Drusilla in fact was born with magic?
Interesting and very well new. Cause I didn't expect the look. Some of some characters in this awesome show we love and adore, how were not born with magic. They got it because they learned it. Others were born like Emma was born because she is the savior and some or whatever. And Rumple got his magic because he became the Dark One. Hello. Regina got it because she learned from it, or maybe she inherited by from Cora. Maybe I don't know. But how Drusilla got her magic? That's interesting because we don't know if maybe she got it from her mother, maybe she got it from her father, whoever her father is. And no, he's not Wish Hook, thank Jesus. So I just think it's very interesting that she got magic. Because I never thought that this Drusilla, because the original Drusilla from Disney and the one from the original one who was played by the sister of Ashley, the original Cinderella, who's from the who know and love from the first seasons of the show, didn't have magic. This one, this is from another version, from another story. So I'm glad. I'm very impressed that I didn't expect that she had magic. I thought she was gonna learn it and poof, have it.
I have to say, every single award to Adelaide Kane, like straight to fuck up. Every
Yeah.
single award to Adelaide Kane, because she took a character who is very well known to be a very one-dimensional character, just a stuck-up brat, and in two episodes she managed to make her so round and so dynamic. I normally I get really with villains when they take out all their issues on everybody else, but in this case, I feel like even though she relates to Regina a lot because they both have mothers, they both have moms that they have that they have a bad relationship with Regina, with Cora, who was always treating her like crap and wanted her and just was trying to mold her to be this queen person, even though she didn't want that life, and their relationship was horrible. And Cora ruined her life, and then you have Drusilla, whose mother treats her like ass because she thinks that she loves the other child better, and she thinks that Drusilla is nothing and treats her like she's crap, and is willing to literally sacrifice her other daughter's life just to bring the more loved one back to life. I mean, they have that in common. And normally with a villain like that, you're like, oh God, now I gotta deal with this villain who's gonna take all her crap out on everybody else. But the way that Adelaide Kane plays it, you feel so much sympathy for this girl that you just want to cheer. Normally you get mad at someone for casting a curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this time I couldn't be mad at her for it. I mean, I'm mad that she cursed our characters because they had nothing to do with it. But like, I can't be mad that she wants to make her mother suffer, because what her mother did to her, I mean, it's bad enough. It was bad enough with Regina witnessing Cora rip Daniel's heart out in front of her face and murder him because she didn't want Regina to be happy. But this woman was ready to sacrifice her own daughter's life, rip her heart out, and use it to bring her other child back to life because she considers Drusilla, her own child, her own flesh and blood, to be worthless. I'm like, that's beyond the pale. Mm-hmm. That's beyond the pale, because for as much as Cora was a shitty mother, she still loved her child. She had a shitty ass way of showing it, because she didn't have a heart in her chest to feel those emotions. But she did love her child in her own way. Lady Tremaine just has no ability to love anyone other than herself and Anastasia. I'm kind of curious in the Anastasia backstory, and it's maybe explain why she thinks so much of Anastasia and so little of her other child, who does nothing but has spent her entire life trying to earn her mother's love and can't seem to earn any of it. And she got to the point where she just cracked, like she couldn't deal anymore, especially when she found out that her mother was going to sacrifice her life. Just, take her heart and use it to bring back her sister. I'm like, God. And Regina means well, honestly. She means well, but sometimes she doesn't think. The only issue I had with the Drusilla magic thing was that I thought that she just came into it really quick. I mean, no one learns magic that fast. Mm-hmm. Even with Regina and Emma and anyone else on the show who's ever had magic had to learn it pretty quick. But I suppose when you're motivated, you do what you have to do. But this girl is just naturally adept. The other thing that doesn't make sense to me is, if Lady Tremaine is working so hard to amass all this magic so she can bring Anastasia back to life, why will she not let Drusilla use her own? Would that not help in some way? Maybe it's just me, but Like, honestly, all the awards. Yeah. Adelaide Kane. I hope she doesn't die. I hope that they're able to redeem her somehow,
Mm-hmm.
because I like her and I want her to stay. I really like her. It's been a long time on the show since they've had could be captured by and relate to and be drawn in by. And especially now in season 7 with all the viewers falling away and not seeming to care anymore. They marketed, this was brilliant. This was brilliant. They marketed the whole season on the back of Lady Tremaine being the big bad bitch. And that could not be further from the truth. I mean, she's got her own badness by being willing to sacrifice everybody to get her daughter back. But really, the bad bitch of this piece is Drusilla.
No,
Ugh.
Drusilla's not bad. She's
No, I mean
malicious.
like the overarching villain of this piece is
Yeah, I know.
Drusilla.
Yeah, because
But she's a
look,
villain. But she's like Hook. She's a villain that you want to root for. You know.
yeah, I really want her to change right now, but it's still not yet hopeful. But I'm not there yet. But I really sympathize because look, she has a mother who's a total bitch and treats her like shit and treats her like a little minion, a little pawn, and doesn't give a fuck about her. She only cares about reviving Anastasia, getting her revenge against Cinderella, and her power. Seriously, and like she will do anything, even sacrifice her own blood. That is unforgivable, and I feel bad, and I feel bad about Drusilla because no child deserves to have a mother that treats her like that and doesn't accept her for who she is. Because Drusilla, she wants love, she wants acceptance by her mother, and I don't, and I really want to know next episode and as the season goes forward if there's hope that that Drusilla can change, or she's just malicious and just batshit crazy.
Well,
But
I
you
think
know,
in the episodes where obviously Anastasia, I'm assuming they're going to be able to bring her back to life at some point. I think maybe, or if and when they do, and the two sisters meet again, that, well, because everyone describes Anastasia as having not one hateful bone in her body, that she was pure, that she was perfect and was innocent and would never hurt a fly. So I would like to think that if they had the chance to meet again, that maybe Anastasia could convince her that this is not the right way to go. If anybody could convince her to forgive their mother, it would be her.
yeah, they're gonna pull an Anna and Elsa on this.
I mean, God, I'm curious. I'm really curious as to what she did to the curse to alter it to make it so that if it was broken, that it would cause harm to everybody. Because the look on Regina's face when she realized, whatever it was that will happen if the curse is broken is obviously serious.
Yeah,
Because she desperately wants to tell Henry who he really is, but and to know him as her son, but she can't because ugh, this is drama.
I know, and that's what Adam and Eddie wanted. That's what to draw more fans to see it, to make us curious, because that's what makes the show awesome. There was drama and mystery and intrigue, and good character storytelling to make the show more interesting. And I really, really was surprised that that Regina. No, I think that Drusilla. I mean, late Tremaine created a monster in Drusilla because of all the abusing and insulting and the nastiness that Tremaine was gonna do to Drusilla. Created that evilness, that resentment, that pain, that anger, that desire for revenge, that insaneness that is in Drusilla. And I know that, and obviously Regina wanted to help this girl. The way she learned from Snowing and Henry and the love of Robin Hood taught her. and
It just
it just went
she didn't
backfiring.
realize she didn't realize how much pain that Drusilla was in, and what that can do to a person, how it can your soul like that.
Yeah.
I guess it had been so long since she felt that pain in her own heart after what happened with Daniel. She forgot how easy it is to get, you know, obsessed with revenge and
And
obsessed with
power.
making somebody suffer for causing you pain. So, Ro, what did you think of this Drusilla
Maliciousness.
stuff?
Well, it's really no surprise to me that Adelaide Kane has been able to pull this character off so well. I mean, she carried Reign for basically 4 seasons. I mean, she's a badass in whatever role she plays, and she's also Australian.
I know.
But, I mean, what I'm curious about, if we're going with archetypes, I mean, she would be the Regina of this story. Tremaine would be the Cora, and I'm guessing Gothel is the Rumple. If they're like working together,
Yeah.
and apparently she's doesn't. They could be leading Tremaine on about how to save Anastasia
So you think the
because,
witch that's in the room up there, that's Mother Gothel?
well, I mean, it's kind of a reverse with her being the one in the tower instead of Rapunzel, so I think that's intentional.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Plus, I don't know much about this witch, but I'm very curious and intrigued about her because this actress Emma Booth is is like very very good. It's very good at this role because I never seen much about her, never heard about her, and I know that maybe she's I know that she's British and that she's been in other shows and I don't know she's in a little small like parts. I don't know her much, but I'm kind of curious to see if this witch is Mother Gothel, and then if Emma Booth can pull this off, then like the original actress who played Mother Gothel in Tangled.
Well, actually, Emma Booth is also Australian.
Sorry, this is the reason why I was confused British with Australian.
I don't know, because I mean, Mother Gothel's motivations in the cartoon were more out of vanity.
Vanity.
She wanted
Hmm.
to remain. She wanted to stay young. This witch is motivated, and she wasn't a witch either. She just knew about the flower, and she used that knowledge to her advantage to stay young. Now, this witch's motivation, I don't know.
Yeah. Uh,
Obvious that she has this extreme disdain for Drusilla's mother. And from the way that she spoke to Drusilla, I think that she cares about her. Maybe back in the Enchanted Forest after the prince was killed, maybe this witch was the one that helped her to cultivate more of her magic,
Magic.
or helped her to learn how to cast that curse, I guess.
Yeah.
But
And also also Drusilla's poof when she vanished from her mother's house. It's purple, just like Regina. If I was gonna be like a dark wine red, but it's purple, just like Regina. And I'm like, if they wanted to make it original with Drusilla, they should have made it another color, because the only Regina's poof is purple. This one should have been more
well,
original.
see, the colors correspond to emotion. Like Emma's is usually white, maybe a very light gray, because she's mostly pure.
Mm-hmm.
When she was the dark one, it was a darker gray because she had her white magic combined with the dark magic, so she was kind of a darker gray.
Mm-hmm.
And then Regina's purple because that her magic comes from a place of anger. And obviously Zelina's is green because her magic comes from a place of envy. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Rumpelstiltskin's always been dark red because that's just pure and utter evil, like pure darkness, pure
Yeah.
utter. evil, which is why when Hook had it, they were both the
Revenge.
same. They were
Well,
red.
yeah, but Hook's spoof, when he was the dark one, number two, it was fueled not by his anger, but by his revenge against
Mm-hmm.
Rumpelstiltskin and against Emma because he turned her into the dark one without his permission. You know the mistake and stuff.
And Zelina's was just green because, well, that's her color.
I know.
I have
Um.
a piece of advice though for whoever edited this episode. I don't know if you guys saw some of the promo shots that were uploaded onto Tumblr and onto the web a couple days before the episode aired, but there was a promo shot of Henry and Regina standing there, and Rumple appears in the corner because I guess he meets up with them along the way. This is right after he arrives in the Enchanted Forest after Belle dies.
Mm,
I'm sure that they shot that scene, but they obviously didn't include it. But they had a scene where Regina and Rumple are sitting on the log talking about Belle's passing away and that he's ready to hand off uh, the Dark One mantle the right way, blah, blah, blah. Whoever edited this probably could have cut that scene and used it in next week's episode instead. Because it's obvious that in next week's episode, since she's awake, she's going to go to Rumple to assess whether or not he's awake and try to get his help to figure this shit out. So that flashback probably would have been better suited in next week's episode rather than this one. Because you edited it when they were already talking and you didn't have any transition with him showing up. It was
yeah.
just 1 minute he's not there and the next he's there. It's like,
Yeah.
somebody did not edit this properly.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm very curious to see. Look, I want to ask you guys something. And do you guys think that this time, after 6 seasons of this awesome show, that Rumple finally will do the right thing, be the hero that Bay, Gideon, and Belle believe that he can be? Or is he gonna do the
Um,
same thing he always does?
I don't know. I don't put anything past him because
You know.
I think he was ready to do whatever he had to do to hand the mantle off. And obviously, Drizilla's plans got in his way. So he's obviously pissed. You could tell when he was getting out of the hospital in that scene where he walks out. He is obviously pissed off
Yeah.
because his, he's lost all of this time where he could have been working towards, you could say, dying
Yeah.
so that he could be with her. He's lost all these years stuck under a curse. So,
Uh-huh. And also, but every time he does, or ever he takes on his own, he ends up or either fucking up and dooming our heroes, and letting his greed and thirst of power get the best of him. And it's not the same thing that he does every time he does everything on his own and does whatever it takes, and is impatient and all that stuff. Seriously, I just hope that all his life together with Bella in this place where they were living with Gideon might have taught something to him, because I really don't want to go back to the same bullshit every single time he wants to get back to Belle to be with her.
Well, I can tell you, as much time as he's been with Belle, and as much as she might have changed him, she hasn't changed him that much. Because when Ronnie goes to see him in the police department to ask him for information about whether or not this quote-unquote Regina Mills adopted somebody in Boston, he wouldn't do it unless she promised him a favor. And the look on his face when she told him she would owe him a favor was pure Rumpelstiltskin. Period. End of statement. Pure Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, some things don't change. A little some things don't change.
Because he's obviously awake. So when he goes to see her at the bar to give her the paperwork about what he's found, he's very careful to remind her, hey, don't forget, you owe me and I will collect. And that's very Rumple. So he might have learned some things, but as you say, sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, cause I don't. I just want for once. I just want him to do the right thing, please. The right thing for once in his life. Cause I don't want. Cause if he doesn't, Belle's gonna turn in her grave with sadness and grief and angerness, and Gideon's gonna be disappointed by his father once again. And
Well, he and
I
Belle did
still
seem
think
to.
that Gideon is in Storybrooke, and not and he brought the gold house they were in that place where they were all this time. He brought it to Storybrooke, and he must be running the pawn shop. That's my headcanon.
Well, he and Belle did seem to have a nice life. Gideon seemed to be raised to be a decent man. So I mean, he obviously changed enough.
Hmm.
Like I said, but hey, is it realistic? Who knows? Because we
I
don't know what happened in this 10-year span of time that they're, in the in this other enchanted forest, dealing with Lady Tremaine and all
Tremaine.
that. We don't know what's happened in that time frame, in that span of time. We have no
And
idea.
also, oh, and also that's where and back at the Enchanted Forest where there's some thieves that were trying to steal Henry's motorcycle. Oh my god, that scene of Henry and Cinderella fighting together side by side against those thieves. That gave me some Captain Swan, snowing badass vibes and parallels. I don't know.
Mm.
Honestly, when it comes to Rumpel, I really couldn't care less. I mean, he says he's changed, that he's a new man. Well, where was this new man before when Emma and Killian were going through all this shit because of him? I mean, no, it's too little too late. So, and if he's just doing this so he can be with Belle, not because the darkness actually needs to be destroyed, he's doing it for the wrong reasons. It's just for himself, as usual. Emma wanted to destroy the darkness because it was the right thing to do. There's a
Exactly.
difference.
I just think the Guardian is gonna just take it away. He can't just pin it on someone. He has. I know it's the prophecy that he and Belle found and read, but I just think that the only way he's gonna take this with his darkness is by another way. He what at least what he learned from Belle and from our tier heroes that he has to find a hard but adventurous and good way and right way. Like he said, the right way to get the darkness out of him. That's not to put it on somebody else because we don't want another dark one. We just want Rumple to do the right thing, get the darkness from him, like a destroyed or something, and then he can die a hero, be in peace, and and be in heaven with Belle, and they and Ron Bell will enjoy their eternal love.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, while
Yeah.
Mila is suffering in the lost eternal river of souls.
Well, now that Mister King Arthur is running the joint and the man changed. I know you don't believe that role, but maybe he changed and maybe he freed every single soul that didn't deserve to be in the river of souls and Mila's now in heaven. Who knows? But I'm very excited to see if Rumble can prove us wrong, and maybe he can do what the right way to get his darkness out of here, and to help our heroes defeat Drusilla, the evil twisted witch, and Tremaine, and all the good things, and for once in his life, he will let go of his power and finally be the man his Bell and his sons know he can be.
So,
When it
what did you
comes
guys?
to when it
Go ahead.
comes to the original actors, I'm really just here for Rogers. I just
Speaking
couldn't care
of, good
less.
segue, Ro. Good segue. What did you guys think of this burgeoning Eloise Gardner murder mystery? We had Hook Rogers breaking down the door. Hello, Mr. Bicep.
I
Walking
know
in there at gunpoint. Yo, Rogers, my man.
he And every time that this man does like badass and hero-ness makes me love him even more. It makes me swoon. The man is a badass. Even when he's Rogers or when he's Wish Hook, he's the shit. Like the original Hook. He puts every man in Hyperion Heights and in the Enchanted Forest on the double standards.
Well, whatever it is he's cottoned on to when he was talking with Alice, and she was telling him to look at the pieces that he already has. Whatever it is he's cottoned on to has to do with that tattoo, that protection symbol that one thug was wearing on his wrist. And when he went back to confront him about it, the guy was dead. We don't know how he got dead or who killed him, but I know next week's episode is a two-parter, and it's particularly hook-heavy flashbacks having to do with this new book's version of Rapunzel, which is a little bit closer to the Tangled version. You could tell from her long blonde hair, and the
And
style of her dress was very much more in the
yeah.
vein of Tangled.
Well, I
But
wanted to say
I don't know.
something. I want to ask. Do you think that Wish Hook could be this version of Rapunzel's Flynn
Flynn?
writer?
I don't know.
He could be because we already know that Alice is Wish Hook's daughter, so Rapunzel could be his Emma, his TL. Maybe I don't know. It's just my theory. What do you guys think?
Well, that would depend because it seemed from the flashbacks that he met her recently.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like the flashbacks were of the distant past. It looked like they were the more modern past, if that makes sense. Uh, it didn't. It looked like the flashbacks took place after he'd already hooked up with Henry and Regina and all them, and this is long after, long after the mother, whatever happened to the mother's child, and long after his daughter disappeared. So I don't know for sure. I guess we'll just have to get into it. And for everybody, for those of you that are kind of confused, next week is going to be a two-parter. It's a 2-hour episode, so episode 7 and episode 8 are airing back to back.
Yay! It's gonna be
Some of you
double
guys are
back.
confused about it, but it's because um, after that, I'm not going to have another new episode till December 1st because they're showing some things. Some sort of specials are preempting.
Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving and some other things. So see, episode 9 will be December 1st,
Yep.
and then a week after that it'll be episode 10, which will be the winter finale, and then it will come back again in March.
Yep. I what in ratings? What kind of number you guys would give this episode?
Well, I already know what ratings it got because I have that on Twitter, but I'll let you guess.
It's a 9.1.
That's not how it's rated.
Well, I would have rated it 9.10 because it was very good. Because the acting that both
Oh,
Adeline
you talking?
Kane,
Okay, I thought you meant the actual Nielsen stuff. Okay, well, I would say on a 10-point scale, I would rate this episode probably a 7 or an 8. It was up there. It probably this season's best episode so far.
bro.
Probably an 8.
I've I always said that I would put this 9.10 because of the acting of Adeline Kane and the acting of Regina as Lana, and also I want to add that somebody put it at an 80s like a lady's movie scene from 17 Candles in this episode when Henry surprised Jacinda and Cinderella with a music box to ask her on a date.
That was a reference to
And he was
say
trying to do
anything.
he was trying to do the thing that happened in the end of the Breakfast Club, of the fisting when you saw that.
Yeah, they keep making all these 80s references, but the thing with the radio was a reference to a John Cusack movie.
I know.
Say anything.
I loved it. It was so cute. I thought the song from the radio was gonna be "I've Been Waiting for a Girl Like You" by the Foreigner, or
Yeah, I thought for sure that he was going to turn it
um,
on and I was going to hear "In your eyes, the light, the heat from your eyes, I am complete in your eyes," because that was the song that was playing on the radio in the movie. But this one was, I don't know what that song was, and it kind of destroyed the moment a little.
yeah, but it was cute. I can't wait to see the cracked videos that people put up with music or with like scenes from other series in every episode of Once Upon a Time, and they do it
Mm-hmm.
with this season too, and they're always so funny. Um, I really like this episode. I'm really happy that Regina's like awake, and I'm shocked and I'm surprised that it was Drusilla who cast this new curse decorated appearing heights. And I'm hoping and excited to see how malicious and twisted with Drusilla is. Plus, I hope that maybe she can change, and I really hope that Regina, like she's learned from 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 the Charmings and Emma and Cook and Henry himself, that she'll find a way to outwit Drusilla and break this curse without anything happening to Henry, Cinderella, and Lucy and everybody else.
I have to
Because this
give the
actress is
marketing
really
people,
back.
the people who
She's
did the
brilliant.
PR for this year, I have to give them major props because from the beginning, they leaked information during Comic Con and D23 and all this stuff that Lady Tremaine was the main big badass and that she learned from Regina's curse what not to do, and she was trying to push out all the fairy tale characters. They made it seem like she took information about the curse and she learned it from Regina and learned how to do it better. And in reality, it wasn't Lady Tremaine at all. It was
Mm-mm.
actually Drusilla. I feel like they were setting up smoke and mirrors to hide the real truth, so we would be really surprised. And I'm glad. You know what? I'm really glad because a lot of times we come into these episodes already having so much spoilers that nothing comes as a real surprise to us. And I'm really glad that we were able to be surprised by
Yeah.
these episodes. They did a really good job this year of obfuscating almost everything.
Yeah.
Regina, her heart was in the right place. She's trying to help her out. She's trying to do the right thing, but she went and she told this girl who was in a lot of pain what she herself did by casting the curse. And she gave this girl the idea that, see, all curses can be broken with true love. So she did the one thing that Regina could never have thought of. She removed true love from the equation. She made it true love proof, so that there is no way the curse could be broken. And then if they did find a way, like if they allowed Jacinda and Henry to have true love's kiss, or that something bad would happen. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what, but something.
What if is it isn't? What if the way to break the curse is not between the true love's kiss between Henry and just and Cinderella, but a kiss in the forehead
Well,
of Lucinda,
if they keep
between Henry and Regina.
if they keep copying season 1 like they've been, I wouldn't be surprised if the true love that they're counting on has nothing to do with Jacinda and Henry. It could just as easily be Henry and Lucy. Remember
That
what
would have.
happened in season one of what
Yeah, yeah,
happened
yeah.
in season one? It was Emma believing and kissing Henry on the forehead when he was about to die because of the poison
Apple
apple
turnover.
turnover. It was that true love's kiss that broke the original curse. So don't assume that it's Henry kissing. I mean, we've been trying for years to get Emma and Killian to have a true love's kiss, and the only
Yeah,
ones we get seem to be either Emma or Regina kissing Henry.
Henry.
So
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm I'm really hoping I'm really starting to really like and adjust and really like this season because it's like so fresh and so new. I thought till this episode I was gonna get bored and maybe like sign off and just be binging for the rest of the season because I'm too attached to the show, too attached to the characters. But damn, this episode really now made me even more interested to see the rest of this seventh season because it's just that's what Once Upon a Time is it's the show that intrigues you, that makes you want to watch, that makes you cry, that makes you happy, fall in love, learn lessons in life, give you hope. And I'm really interested to see how the rest of the season goes too, because I am here for it.
well, I'll I would be the first to admit that as this season started out, I had my reservations as to whether or not it was going to be successful, and I still do because for the most part, it's been rather slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and unfortunately, as much as I love Gabrielle and Anwar, she's one of my favorite lover. This version of Lady Tremaine that she's playing just has not really been that engaging. If anybody is one dimensional, it's Lady Tremaine. Like really, she's just one dimensional.
Yeah.
Even during the flashbacks when we got more insight into the whole thing about what
Why does she
happened
hate Cinderella?
to Anastasia and why she's doing what she's doing. Even with that emotional information, it really didn't like make us sympathize with her at all. Usually when they give the villains more humanity, it makes it easier for you to sympathize, and she still came off as a one-dimensional callous bitch. Like there was it always feels like she's trying too hard, and all she does when she opens up her mouth is whine. So it's like there's just nothing there. And it was also taking a lot of time for us to get used to the new characters, to Alice and Sabine and Jacinda and Henry as an adult, and to, it took us time to figure out how all these characters fit together.
Mm-hmm.
It was just going so slow. We're like, ugh. The only person we had that was like the audience surrogate was Lucy, and nothing against Allison. She's a cute little girl and she's a cute little actress, but her constant, come on, guys, we have to do this. We can get this done. We just have to believe. Wow. Even Henry wasn't that adamant when he was 10 years old.
Well,
Really.
Lucy is like a little bit different, but she has her father. She's her daughter's father. I mean, she's her
She's her
daughter's
father's daughter,
daughter.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
and I'm like, I'm very interested to see how more of Lucy she can like play even more better because Fernandez is a sweet girl. She's very talented, and gosh, I really want to see more of little Lucy Mills.
But I mean, now that I still all the awards to Allie Kane, because she's taken what turned out to be what started out as a very slow season, and just within an episode or two put it into hyperdrive. Yo, girl, yo, because now the action is on point. Like, bam, we're in it now. Well, her and Colin's also done a really good job. Of course,
As
Colin
always.
always does a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
He does a really great job of uh, showing us the emotions of Rogers as this police officer who is desperate to solve this case that's been haunting him, and how much it's affected him, and really good at developing this version of Hook as a different entity than our Hook. You can definitely see that there are subtle differences.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see it more next week when we get to see his flashbacks. We'll get to see more. But I really have to commend Adeline Kane for getting this plot moving quickly, and Emma Booth and the actress that plays Alice and Makia Cox,
Rose.
because they really set that shit in motion. Because Andrew's done a really good job of getting Henry down, but he's been so bogged down with Jacinda and that relationship stuff that his performance has just gotten like
Flat.
slow and flat and kind of boring. So it's like,
Well, this next week we're gonna see a little bit more of the of his dynamic with when Cinderella and the flashbacks, because by the judging the judging, I think we're gonna see maybe or maybe now we're gonna see Cinderella and Henry's first kiss in the flashbacks, because the closest between them when they were practicing sword fighting was an
mm-hmm.
indication that maybe we're gonna see their first kiss in the flashbacks, because we're not gonna see it in maybe now we're gonna see it in the present day and when they're Henry first and Jacinda.
I'm
But
still I'm still on the fence with this because I mean I'm trying. Believe me, I'm trying to feel this relationship. I'm just not feeling it. You know, it's like every time they're in a scene, like it's cute and everything, but it's not like there. You know, I'm not
ooh,
feeling chemistry there ever. Whenever they're in a scene and he's desperately trying to be cute with her or to flirt with her, it just feels like
she's
all the
walls up.
chemistry is. Hmm?
Jacinda, now that she's cursed with Jacinda, like she was when they first met in the Chatter Forest, she's all walls up, like guard up. She's not letting her guard down. That's it.
But see
Jacinda's
that doesn't matter because Emma was all walls up too. When she first met Hook, she was like a fucking brick wall. Like she was walls the fuck up. But even though she was, the chemistry between her and Hook was off the charts. Off
mm-hmm.
the charts. This this with Jacinda and Henry, as hard as he tries, it's like every bit of chemistry is just sapped from the room every time they're in a room together. And everyone around them keeps being like, "Oh, you two are so in love with each other, and look, they're so cute together, and we need to get them together." I'm like, no, it's not happening.
And also, I really want to. I'm really excited to see Nathan Parson next Friday, because we're gonna see him in either season episode 7 or episode 8 as Nick. And I'm starting to think that it's either a young adult Roland or young adult Neil, Emma's brother. Cause I don't know, but this actor Nathan looks this like the actress of who's the actress who played Marion? What's her name is?
Christy Lang.
Christy Lane.
Christy
She looks like
Lang.
Nathan looks like Christy Lane and Sean McGuire had a baby, cause he looks like he has the familiar reference on point on Roland, but maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I don't know. I still think he's too old to be Neil. To be honest with you. Well, I
What
know
to be
that
Roland?
he's going to be in there soon, and in the December episodes, Zelena's going to be there, and Robin.
Yay! Me and Roland excited to see Selena back and her daughter to Armory Row.
Well, now that Regina's awake, I can understand where Zelina comes into all this. Because if she can't get any help from Rumple, then that probably means she's going to call her sister and ask her to come. Like, you need to come here. This is some shit's fucked up. We need help.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
assuming Zelina isn't cursed too.
yes, she's cursed. Yeah, Selena's cursed. Her cursed persona, as I found out, her name is Kelly. And I think that's a little.
How is she
That's a
cursed?
little segue
She's in
to.
Hyperion
I don't
Heights.
know.
How in the fuck does she? No, I mean she's in Storybrooke.
That
How the hell did she get to
I don't
Hyperion
know. I
Heights?
don't know. That's what we're gonna find out in December, cause that's what we're gonna find out. Cause maybe she came through a portal. Cause Robin, her daughter, has magic. She doesn't only. Her daughter doesn't only flips an arrow like her father. So I'm just guessing that it's because they must have got through a magic portal made by Robin to help Henry and Regina defeat Drusilla and Tremaine and Lady Tremaine. That's my theory.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to see her back because I really love Bex. She's awesome, and I'm very excited to see and to get to know this girl Tiara, cause I'm really excited to see Robin, cause I want to see I wanted to see the babies of this episode as young adults, as teenagers or young adults, see them as characters, like new characters, like because they're always like sidewayed because they're just babies, because they don't talk, they're just there because they're part of the show. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see Nathan. Who is he playing? Is this Nick guy somebody who we know in the charming Swan Jones Mills Gold family, or is he somebody from the this new version of the Enchanted Force where Henry and his team are? And I want to see,
We
and
shall
I'm
see.
excited. We shall see. It's gonna be so cool.
Okay, there is one.
Really
Go ahead,
don't
bro.
want to. I really don't want to assume too much about who's playing who. I mean, we'll just see how it all turns out. But it's really no surprise to me that the idea to cast the curse in the first place came from Regina
I know.
originally. So these people showing up to help Henry, maybe it wasn't such a great idea.
Well, in that vein, it's interesting to me that the reason why Regina decided to stay with Henry in the first place is because she felt like she still had a void in her life that she needed to fill. She wanted to be there for Henry, and she also wanted to find whatever
Drusilla.
happiness in her life that was missing. But then when Henry and Jacinta get attacked by the brigands who want to steal Henry's bike, I thought that scene was kind of funny for the fact that, okay, you're going to steal it, but you have no idea what the fuck that thing is, and you don't know how to drive it, so how do you plan to make off with it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
not
was
too
like,
fucking smart, yo.
yeah. Like how they don't even know what this is. How the fuck are they gonna know how to drive it or use it? Like that's funny. But the way I was paying attention. I know this is happening, but I was paying attention more on the dynamics of fighting skills and badass teamness that was between Henry and Cinderella, to pay attention why the fuck these people are stealing something they don't know what it is and how to use it.
Oh, and heads up for Ro, because love that reference to Tron, yo, with the Tron lunchbox. That was cool. In that scene when they got
Okay.
attacked by the brigands, Regina had her fireball ready to help, and they didn't need her. Henry and Jacinta took care of them on their own. So she started to realize that maybe Henry didn't really need her the way she thought that he did, and now she's feeling kind of
Left out.
not left out, but like rudderless. Like she doesn't know what her direction is. She doesn't know what to do with herself because she feels lost without him in Storybrooke, because she sees herself first and foremost as Henry's mother. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she wasn't always the best mother. I feel like I know this sounds weird for
That's
me,
okay.
me of all people, to sit here and defend her because most of us didn't like her to begin with. And I know
Except me. I like her.
this was a big contentious thing with this episode because of this very conversation that Henry and Regina both had. I thought this was a very strong episode for Regina and Henry as a family. I know that Regina has not always been the best parent. Lord knows. There were times when I thought that she should be in prison for the things that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she gaslit him, she tried to make him think that he was crazy. She almost got him killed. I mean, yeah, she's done a lot of horrible things. But nobody on this show, not even Emma, is perfect. And I know that a lot of us would like to see her redeem herself more. But honestly, I've come to a point with the show that I know I've made peace with the fact that we'll probably never see it. There's just too much that Regina would have to do to fully redeem herself in all of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the place that she's in right now, if Emma did not believe that she was redeemed enough, I'm not saying fully, but enough to a point where she could trust her to guide Henry without her there. I mean, Emma's not there. She's trusting Regina to guide him and to be there for him when she can't be. So if Emma, of all people, whose life has been hurt the most by this woman, can feel that she can trust Regina to be what Henry needs in his life, then I feel like enough time has passed. She's really not the person that she started out as when this show began. She's much more like the Regina that she was
When she was a young girl.
without when she was young, without Cora's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, she's obviously has she doesn't have the innocence that she used to have because she's gone through way too much, but
Mm-hmm.
she's found that part of herself, that part of her soul that she locked away to keep from feeling any more pain after Daniel died.
And Robin
And
died.
I think through being an aunt to Robin, being and finding new family and Zelina and having more time with Henry and all those things, I think she really has changed. I mean, is she perfect? No, but nobody's like nobody's absolutely perfect. Nobody on this show is perfect. That's impossible. Except for maybe, well, hell, not even the Charmings are perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus, they caused this poor innocent young girl to be violently taken from her mother and thrust into another realm, and she wound up being raised in the system. She only got lucky because she was adopted. If she hadn't been adopted, she would have had a shitty life.
Yeah.
And well, she did kind of have a shitty life because they put all of the darkness that potential darkness Emma might have had, they put it into this poor innocent girl.
Millie. Or Mal. And
So
descendants.
if those two can be forgiven for what really was a horrible, horrible act of complete selfishness, I would like to think that Regina can at some point earn at least, I'm not saying full 100%, but at least I would say at this point where what we've seen, she's about 75. She's still got a little bit more ways to go, but I mean, she's a very, very different person. And I'm interested to see, like, where, if she's not being a mom to Henry, then what is she doing? Like, what road is her life taking? Well, I even like the way that she plays Ronnie, because she has this like spunk and sass to her that Regina didn't really have. Regina only has she's just plain mean. Like she treats people like dirt because she thinks that she's above them. But this version of Regina,
Ronnie.
Ronnie, even when she wasn't Ronnie, the Regina that was in the Enchanted Forest with Henry as a grown-up, she doesn't have that whole haughty, I'm the queen bitch, and you're beneath me, beneath my foot type thing. She doesn't act like that. That was the one problem I kept having with her, is that even at the end of season 6, everything was about her. Me, 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 I. But obviously enough years have passed that part of her has kind of shifted. Like, she's not as self-centered as she once was. That was the only sticking point I still had with her. And it seemed like she's kind of maneuvered away from that, because as Henry was saying, she's not just a mother to him, but she seems like she's kind of a den mom to everybody there. Everyone comes to her when they have problems because she's the person that they can come to if they need someone to listen to.
Yeah. But what hasn't changed is her style and dressing. I loved her outfit in the flashbacks in Enchanted Forest. Oh my gosh. She looked like Sheena, the warrior princess, but in Queen version, or like her own thing. And I loved it. And also the dress that Drusilla was wearing in the flashbacks, it's exactly the same dress. It looks exactly the same dress as that Kristen Stewart was wearing when she was Snow White and the Huntsman.
I'm
I
interested to
just
see.
gotta
Go ahead.
I just gotta disagree about no character being perfect. Roland was perfect.
He was a kid.
I know. We don't know how
Yeah, but
he's
no one ever had anything bad to say about him.
Cause Raphael was a great actor, even though he was a great actor. He was a kid doing what he's doing. But I hope that I really am. I hope I'm. That's why I'm saying that maybe his adult version may be appearing in this new and next Friday or not. But I really want to. I would have loved to see an adult version of Roland come to help or have his own adventure. Now that the Wish Robin is leading the Merry Men, because he and the in Evil Queen number 2 are living there as heroes and all that stuff. But yeah, nobody says shit about Roland. That's true, which doesn't surprise me.
Well, and before anybody flames me for this or blows up my my inbox, just because I'm saying that I like the direction that Regina's character is taking, doesn't mean that I despise or hate or am writing off Emma Swan. Absolutely not. Emma Swan is my number one. Well, Killian Jones is my number one, but Emma will always be top of the top. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But even Emma was not perfect. And this is another thing I feel like I have to address, because Tumblr is like, blow the fuck up with this controversy. In the scene where Henry is trying to comfort Regina and explain to her that even though he can take care of himself, that he will always need her in his life because she's his mother and he loves her, and that he says to her that she was the first person to ever love him. And everyone's like, oh, 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 but your mother, Emma Swan, gave you up at birth because she loved you, because to give you your best chance. How could you say? I'm like, hold up. You're acting as though ignoring her or writing her off like she doesn't exist. I'm not going to try to say that Adam and Eddie, are writing it like this because they're mad at Jennifer Morrison for not being on the show. You can't say stuff like that because you can't prove it. That's y'all's own bitterness starting to seep through.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Henry was trying to say when he said this to her, he was not saying that Emma didn't love him. He was not saying that she didn't love him when she gave him up. He's already said this to her because she had come to him when she found him, or when he found her. She felt incredibly guilty that she felt like she was a shitty person for having given up her own son. But he told her that he understood at the age of 10, this child had enough awareness to understand and to be able to express to his biological parent that he understood why she did what she did, and that she didn't do it. I mean, there were times when he missed having a real mom, or knowing who his biological mother was. There was times when he was sad that he felt like he didn't have a real family.
Mm.
But he understood why she did what she did. That
Yeah.
she did what she did to give him his best chance. He knows that she loves him. But when he's saying this to Regina, he's not saying it trying to act like no one else loved him but her. That's not what he's saying. He's saying it from the point of view of Henry Mills as a child who does not know his biological mother, and whose only parent that he had at that time was Regina Mills. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, but she was so cruel to him and she made him think he was crazy, blah, 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 blah. That was in season 1. Before that happened, before all of that, when he got his hands on the book, he seemed to lead a relatively happy life. She was good to him. She treated him well. She took care of him and she loved him. I mean, it might not have been perfect, but like I said, nothing ever is. The fact was, she loved that child like he was her own flesh and blood. She was his mother. And he loved her. So I can understand his way of thinking. He wasn't discounting Emma. He was speaking from the point of view of his mindset when he was a child. That in his mind, when he was 9 or 8 or 7, that the only love he had at that time was her. Because he didn't know who Emma was. He didn't know who his real family was. He didn't know the whole story. But once he did learn the whole story and the reasons why Emma had to give him up, because she was still in prison, he never discounted the fact that Emma loved him. But he didn't have any of that information. And at that particular scene, the point of that scene was not to emphasize that Emma loved him. The audience knows this. We've known this for 7 fucking years. We don't need the reminder.
Yeah.
It was to help Regina to understand that no matter how old he gets or how well he's able to take care of himself, no matter where he is in his life, he's always going to need his mothers. You know? That's what he was trying to tell her. And if y'all want to blow up my inbox and hate on me, then fine. But I mean, this whole Emma Regina animosity crap's got to stop.
Yeah.
Because this is less about this is less about you feeling like Emma's being written off and more about you're bitter that she's not there, period.
Yeah.
This whole bitterness about Jen or Emma not being on the show's got to stop, because it's tainting every way that you're thinking about this whole season.
Yeah.
Please stop.
I understand the pain that we would have wanted Jen to stay in the show. We would have loved that she stay in the show, but it was her decision to leave the show. Okay? And you cannot hate on her or Adam and Eddie for this happening. Okay? This just happened. We have to just move on, change, and accept it. And not be bitter and cyberbullying and be a bunch of assholes.
Ro, did you think in that scene that Henry was deliberately trying to write Emma off, or did you understand where he was coming from?
I get it, and I really don't have anything else to say about it. I mean, people just take things the wrong way and blow it up way out of proportion. And sometimes I feel like in certain parts of the fandom where the you know who's are concerned, there's way too much projection. Like saying that Jen decided to leave because she doesn't like the fact that Captain Swan got married. That's BS. I'm sorry. And there's no point in projecting any other kind of feelings, saying that Adam and Eddie don't like Jen anymore, they don't like Emma, so they're deliberately writing her off. There is no proof, okay? So you're just making assumptions, and it's not helping anybody who wants to continue watching.
It's just, I am so tired of people shitting on this show thinking that Adam and Eddie are deliberately writing Emma off or tainting her character or treating her character like crap because they're bitter at her for
Or
not
destroying,
being,
or destroying Captain Swan's love story and
or like,
raising.
yeah, or like, yeah, trying to assassinate her character or giving, or supposedly giving Hook a new love in interest to stick it to Jennifer because she left. That needs to stop.
Yeah.
This
And also
the
for the
these
700th time, this is not our Hook. This is the Wish Hook. The real Hook we know and love is in Storybrooke with Emma. They're gonna have a baby. This is
First of all, that
this is the
scene
Hook.
with Henry and Regina had nothing to do with Emma at all.
Mhm.
Zero to do with Emma. The conversation was Henry trying to give Regina some comfort to help her to understand that no matter how old he got or where he was in his life, that he would always need her because she was his mom. And if Emma was there, he would have told her the same thing. Period.
Mhm.
And Hook, whether or not he gets a love interest or we see the mother of his child in flashbacks, has nothing to do with Captain Swan.
Mm-mm.
The fact is, they are not writing these storylines to deliberately shit on Jennifer. They are not mad at her for leaving. It was her decision. She told them. They accepted it. Everybody that is involved with the show accepted that she made a decision that she wanted to move on. Nobody was angry. They would have loved to have her stay. I'm sure they would love to have her back. But they all understood that that's what she wanted to do with her life. There was no animosity. There was no bitterness. The only bitterness is coming from people's in the fandom that can't seem to deal or move the fuck on. Now, as for Hook's storyline, like what you were just saying, y'all need to accept the fact that this Hook is not our Hook. This is a totally different Hook. Period. Our Hook has his happy ending. He is in Storybrooke, married to Emma Swan, about to have a fucking child. He's happy. That has not been tainted. That has not been fucked with. That has not been screwed over. That is fine. They specifically made that happen in episode 2, so we would not have to worry. So we would have that comfort knowing that our OTP was happy.
Mm-hmm.
If they do not allow this Hook to have his own storyline, then what the fuck is the point for him even being on the fucking show?
Yeah.
If he's not allowed to have some separate whatever story, then there's no point in Colin even continuing on with this show.
Yeah.
If he has a daughter, obviously the daughter has a mother. Just because she pops up doesn't mean he's automatically going to be, in a relationship with her. Obviously she's going to pop up because they need to show like how they met and what exactly happened leading up to the daughter being kidnapped and held in that tower. It's a part of it's the past storyline that needs to be shown so you can understand the context of why he's doing what he's doing. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to see that, that's your choice, but understand that this is Wish Hook. This is not Killing Jones Hook. Different Hook. Different story. This Hook in this show right now did not meet Emma Swan until season fucking 6. Did not know her, does not love her. Did she affect his life? Yes. She had a very large impact on his life, and she changed him for the better when she gave him his life back so that when she saved his life so that he could live long enough to find his child. She gave him something to hold on to, which is what Emma seems to do for every Hook ever. But that's just the influence that she has. If they had met earlier, would they have gotten together? Maybe. I mean, it seems like every version of Hook seems to wind up with every version of Emma, so it would not surprise me. But as it was, that didn't happen. So this Hook, his story diverged. It's different. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah. And if he ends up being the true love of Tiana or Rapunzel, we have to deal with it. Okay?
I mean,
I just, I don't really want to address any of the negativity, but when on the positive side, what would you say are the best relationships so far that he has cultivated with the other characters?
His relationship with Henry, his relationship with Tiana, definitely. He doesn't seem to have much of a relationship with Jacinda, and it seems like the only reason he has a relationship with Jacinda is because of his friendship with
Henry.
Sabine. Honestly, his relationship with Henry, I swear, is like fucking Charming 2.0. It's perfect.
Captain Charming 2.0 or Captain Cobra 2.0.
And his relationship with Alice, oh god, I love them together. They're so cute.
Yeah, do you still think that Alice is Wish Hook's daughter, or is it somebody else?
Well, they made it pretty obvious with the whole, and in this episode when they were playing chess again in whatever place that was, she handed him. Did she hand him the rook? She handed him one of the chess pieces, and it was the black rook. So, it seemed like Adam and Eddie are really trying to beat that in there. That it, more than likely she is his child.
Yeah, because in the promo for the next episode, she was just looking at somebody in the Enchanted Forest by flashbacks. She hasn't seen in a very long time. She was emotional, like smiling.
Ro?
Well, like I said, I mean, they love their bait and switch, so I don't want to assume anything just yet. I mean, we remember how old Hook was originally, so his daughter could be any age.
True.
And I'm still wanting to see Giles as older Gideon in the new Enchanted Forest and then Hyperion Heights in the second part of season 7 because I love Giles.
I'm still waiting for them to explain the whole time period thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to make much sense. I have a feeling that this whole thing with Rumpel going to like the edge of time or the farthest reaches of the Enchanted Forest where time passes very, very slowly. I feel like that was put in there for a reason. Yeah. To maybe allude or to explain why the time frames are kind of off. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was confused how meanwhile everybody in Storybook, even Pascal Abe was not aging that fast. The Belle was aging that fast, and Gideon was aging that fast in that place where he and Belle went after the season 6 finale and Gideon's birthday and his little kid, and it's like the season's like back to back timelines, and I'm getting a little dizzy because I don't know how many years is which part, and I don't think I think it's Adam and Eddie's idea to like surprise us and make us intrigued, but at the same time, we cannot. How are we gonna explain timelines in this show after 6 seasons of every time they do flashbacks, many years this, many years that?
I think they just got so tired of trying to keep their timeline straight, they just said, fuck it.
I know.
And just were like, many years ago.
Yeah, I'm really confused. It still pisses me off. I'm like, ugh. But I'm excited to see. Do you think this Wish this Wish Me that's gonna appear in this next Friday. We saw Regina as the Evil Queen RTR. Is that Wish Evil? Is that Evil Queen 2.0, or that's Regina just dressed as her Evil Queen RTR because that's part of her in the New
I
Enchanted?
don't think so. I think that's Regina,
Yeah, that's
because
Regina.
the Wish Evil Queen hasn't been there in a very long time.
Yeah, she's busy being a hero and about planning her wedding with Wish Hook and the original Enchanted Forest where our heroes came from.
Right.
And also because Sean is not coming back, because if it were true that Sean would have come back as Wish Robin, but that's not. But since that's not happening, Sean's not coming back as the real Robin because the real Robin's dead, unfortunately. So that was Regina, but I'm curious to see how Wish Me or the original Smee came to the Enchanted Forest number 2, and how he may have been maybe in Hyperion Heights, because yeah, I'm a fan of the friendship and companionship between Hook and Smee since I was a little kid. So I'm excited to see Chris back because Chris and Colin are very good buds from what I've seen.
I don't think that this version of Smee is going to be very much different than the Smee we know, because I mean, Hook is pretty much the same too, except his timeline diverged because he never met Emma. So I'm assuming that Smee is pretty much the same, except he didn't get back with Hook and do all the things that Hook did after
Hmm.
Emma broke the curse.
Yeah, I'm still lingering on the theory that something romantic and true love is gonna happen between Rapunzel and Wish Hook because now we know she's not his daughter and stuff. But I'm just clinging on that because maybe it could happen, maybe it could not. But it's just like it's like kind of fishy on me. But we'll see next Friday how they all plays out. And I'm very excited to see how this girl Megan plays this version of Rapunzel, who looks more like the Rapunzel from Tangled than the original Rapunzel from the original Enchanted Forest, who was played in season 3.
We shall see. I don't know how it's going to go. I just know that next week is 2 hours. One of the episodes is called Eloise Gardner,
Huh?
and it's
And
Hook heavy with a lot of flashbacks having to do with how he meets Rapunzel and information. And we're going to get more of the story on who Eloise Gardner is and how she
yeah.
disappeared and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
All right. So, any final thoughts before we call it a day?
I'm very excited to see how malicious Drusilla is, and I'm still clinging that her catchphrase is "malice always prevails." And yes, it does kind of parallels Zelina's catchphrase, but I like it because it goes with her.
Ro?
It was a good episode, so maybe the next two will be good too.
Mhm.
And I'm also happy that Zelina is coming back soon because I've missed her.
Yeah. Me too.
And I love that the actress who plays Rapunzel is also Australian.
Go Australia.
Yeah, I love
Yep.
it. Australian representative for sure.
Great episode all around. Um, one of the strongest ones to date of this season. Some of the strongest characterizations to date. All the awards to Adelaide Kane.
Mhm.
Also, some awards to Lana. Stellar job with this. Um, and can't wait for next week to see those flashbacks. Anything that has to do with Colin and Hook and flashbacks is always a good thing.
Yeah, especially when he's wearing that sexy pirate RTR and leather pants.
Very interested to see what exactly it was that Drusilla did to augment this curse that makes it so dangerous.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how Regina is going to have to go about keeping Jacinda and Henry apart in order to prevent this curse from being broken and doing whatever harm it was that Drusilla set out to do. So, if that is everything, we will see you guys. Next week's episode will probably be a little bit longer because it's 2 episodes we're going to be talking about. So,
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be doubly magic like this next Friday.
so we will see you guys all same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out. Melis always prevails.